Hi everyone, this is gr4nt, or Grant as I'll refer to myself from here on out in any more videos. Earlier today, Ryan posted a video including his build and his gear, and there's been some requests for my information as well, so this is going to be a quick video highlighting which skills I use and why, and as well as what stats I prioritize on gear and that kind of thing. So we'll start off with skills. My primary attack is Crippling Wave with the concussion glyph. I use this because it is by far the most AoE centric of all the monk primaries, and does a really good job of hitting all the targets that are coming at us, slowing all the targets, reducing movements or attack speed and damage of all the targets coming at us. I know a lot of solo monks use Deadly Reach with the armor rune, and I've tried that, but for the duo play, it just wasn't working for me. So that's that one. I use Serenity with Peaceful Repose. It's, in my opinion, just the best Serenity rune, with the exception of maybe the AoE bubble, if you can use it at the right time. The first spell is Breath of Heaven with Blazing Wrath. That's just 45-second uptime on the damage for a 15-second cooldown ability. Basically means it's 15% extra damage all the time. And even though in my build I'm way more focused on letting Raiden do most of the damage, a 15% damage buff that's up all the time is too good to pass up. The second ability is Earth Ally. I've mentioned before in YouTube comments and stuff that it's not only for the maximum life, but you can see down there that it says forces the enemy to attack that ally for 3 seconds, and that's a big help on elite packs and bosses. Getting that one mob's isolated or pulled away from the rest can be the difference between successfully killing a group and just getting stomped. For Blinding Flash, I've played with a lot of the runes. Currently I'm using this one that gives 30% extra damage during blind, mainly because that's the biggest free damage time you have as a melee character. Even with as much defense and everything as I have, you can't really stay in there for too much longer after your cooldowns are gone, so I use that one. I've also used Echo because it double blinds, but I feel like this one's just the best one for farming elites. The last ability is Mantra of Healing with Time of Need. That's just extra resistance as much as anything, and they recently added the absorption effect on activation. I still haven't really played with that enough to know how good or bad that actually is, and Blizzard didn't give a exact amount on the shield, so I guess we'll see. For passives, I use Resolve, Seize the Initiative, One with Everything. Those are just the three most tanky passives that Monk has. I've played with switching Resolve and Transcendence, but I feel like Resolve's better. It lets me stay in melee range, keeping everything slowed and CC'd longer, basically. So that's what I go with. On to gear. Here, I'll full out. There we go. So this is fully buffed. As you can see, all the resistances are 920, which is 75.42% against level 60s. It is good to note for all the newer players out there that that is against level 60 mobs. So if you are fighting in Act 3 and 4 and stuff, and you're wondering why mobs are just crushing you, it's because they're level 63, and that means they don't get reduced by 75. I'm not sure the exact formula, but it's definitely way less than 75. Here's the items. The fist weapon is basically just a fist with a bunch of dex, damage, and spirit regen. I really like spirit regen on fist and helm if it's possible for you, if you can afford the items, and if you can get good quality items with those two stats. I feel like it's very nice because of all the kiting you are forced to do. The boots, I picked those up for about 3 mil, and they're just perfect stats for me. Fire resist is actually my highest resist, so it's the one that One with Everything basically leeches off of. So for me, those boots are just ridiculous. And 12% movement speed was something that I found on my first pair of boots, and I just could never get rid of from then on out. It's just so nice for when you're running away from basically any mob in the game, or when you're trying to chase down a mob, it's really nice having that extra movement speed. The shield is pretty standard. I mean, Dex, Vitality, again, Fire Resist, which for me is basically all resist. Extra armor, extra block, and Magic Find. There's not many shields I've seen that are better than that, if any. The rings are both Vitality and Dex. Vitality and Dex. This one even has a little bit resistance. Same with the pants, resistance, vitality, dex. I think you can kind of see the stat priority I'm giving things. Basically, when I go to the auction house, I search for resistance, vitality, and dex in that order. Those priorities, the only thing that changes is I will attempt to balance the dex and vitality to similar numbers. Like, I don't want to have 80k health and then no damage, because while I can stay in melee range, it's not really helpful because I'm not doing anything other than, holding mobs in place. The rest of the gear is pretty self-explanatory. If you really want to get a good look at it, feel free to add me and use like the friends list to search through and basically, scope it out that way. One thing I will mention about gear specifically for tanky classes, monk in general, is finding a helm with a socket is, in my opinion, the most important single gear choice you can make, because it's basically like having 15% life on an item. You can see, I mean, this ring has 5% life. I think I have another, 6% life. With that Star Ruby or Star Amethyst in there, that's 15% extra life. That is huge. That's a ton of life. If I switch to the one that doesn't have that rune, my health drops almost 10k. So in my opinion, that's a really, really important socket right there that everyone should try to have. I think that should be it for this. Like I said, it's just a short video doing that. Keep tuned, and we're planning on making more videos, including the Act 2 farming guide, and Act 3 farming guide, and an Act 4 farming guide. In addition, we've had a lot of requests for an auction house run through, and kind of like how we use the auction house to find upgrades. And there was a lot of interest in that, so we'll probably be releasing one of those here within the week as well. So keep tuned. Thanks, guys. Bye.